Peace, peace. This is Dwayne Motivated, and I actually wanted to tell a story in regards to how people prioritize their money or their wealth over what's important, which is their health. So, to give you a little background about me, I went from 315 to 175. It was a hell of a journey. I'll get into that in other videos, but I want to talk about this right quick. So, I come from a family who prioritize their wealth over their health. So growing up, I watched a lot of my family members die from shit like heart attacks, strokes, high blood pressure, dialysis and things of that nature. And it's unfortunate because, you know, we were taught, especially in the Black community, to hustle, 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 hustle. And with that mindset, it seems to be an imbalance because we neglect taking care of ourselves, which is, to me, it's important. Like I said, I've seen my family members die. And until this day, I see a lot of family members suffering. I see a lot of family members who aren't able to be, comfortable, pain free. But this brings me to the main story that I want to talk about. Okay, 2 years ago, I had a business partner who I was in real estate with, and we ended up going to a real estate meetup or like a little, convention or something like that. My partner, he had a mentor who was like the real deal. This dude was super rich. He bought and sold properties all over Florida. Very aggressive, very intelligent type guy. Anyway, he was like, hey, Dwayne, we're going to get with Dave and we're going to sit down and, going to talk with him. I said, cool, let's do it. So anyway, they decided to meet up at a Mexican restaurant. So we at the Mexican restaurant and I met Dave. Dave came with his brother. And instantly I noticed something was off with his brother. And I could tell how the brother was speaking. He had a stroke because he wasn't really speaking that good. And I know about strokes because, I seen people in my family experience that, right? So we're sitting at the table. They're talking. My business partner and the dude talking because, they're heavy in investing. Me, I'm just sponging. I'm just learning, taking mental notes, taking actual notes because I wanted to learn from these guys because this dude here playing with millions. And he told me out his mouth, I done made millions. And he has a reputation for that. Like it's documented. He's a real bona fide investor. So anyway, they was like, hey, Dwayne, we see that, you didn't order anything. I was like, nah, I don't eat at restaurants. I only eat at home because I know a lot of times these people who own these restaurants, they buy low quality, cheap foods and fake foods because they're always thinking about maximizing the profit. So they got to serve, let's say 200-300 people. They're not going to buy organic quality food. They're going to buy the cheapest things and try to make the biggest bang for their buck. So I knew better. Until this day, I still don't go to restaurants. I only eat at home. And I was like, nah, I told him, nah, I'm good. I take care of my health and I value what I put in my body. So I told him, I lost the weight or whatever. And it was like, for real? So they started asking me questions about what I did and, a regimen and all that stuff. And it was funny because in the beginning, it was all about them two talking about all the millions that they made. But towards the end of the night, guess what? It was all about their health because obviously his brother was suffering, the aftermath of a stroke. And I knew instantly what the brother could do to get himself together. And I told him, hey, you can do this. I gave him a couple of things he can do. And he was like, man, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then we talked more about health and we talked more about that type of stuff. Because guess what? Yes, this guy, Dave, had all this money, millions of dollars, but their health wasn't together because he got diabetes. He had, he got high blood pressure and his brother, messed up from that stroke. So they on the same path. But see, that's the thing. The money didn't matter at that point. They wanted to feel better. They wanted to improve their health. And little old me, who wasn't nowhere near on their level when it came to investing and making all that money, I had the most important information. How to get healthy. And actually they end up using the information that I gave them, and they seen a drastic change, or the brother seen a drastic change who had the stroke. And they called me and was like, hey man, just want to tell you, man, it worked. You know, my speech is improving. I'm feeling better. Man, thank you so much. And see, at that moment, all those millions of dollars didn't matter. It didn't matter. Because don't get me wrong, getting that money is cool. But man, how you gonna enjoy the money if you can't even get out of bed? How you gonna enjoy that money if you can't even bend down to tie your shoe? Or you can't even go for a walk because you're beat up from life. You know, you're beat up from your health issues, strokes, that type of thing. So that just goes to show you, when it comes to your health, that's priority, because all the money in the world can't buy you more time. And that's all I gotta, say about that. And yeah, I'm gonna talk more about this type of thing because I got a lot of different instances where I've seen how people make all this money, but then they're not healthy. They can't even enjoy their money. And who the hell want to get to $1 million and you can't even enjoy it? You can't even, do the things that matter the most, and that's walk around pain free. So yeah, that's my little story. Peace, Dwayne Motivated.